I can prove through the evidence found in inscription, literature, and almanac. First, literature, Purana, Vishnu Purana, Matsya Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Vayu Purana, and Srimad Bhagavatam. These 5 Purana describe the chronology of Magadha Empire after Mahabharata. So, after Mahabharata War, Brihadrada dynasty ruled for 1000 years. Pradyodha dynasty ruled for 138 years. And Sishunaga dynasty ruled for 362 years. After that, Mahabhatmananda crowned. So, from Mahabharata War, that is the birth of Parikshat, to the coronation of Mahabhatmananda, there elapsed 1188 and 362, that is 1500 years. Matsya Purana, the paper manuscript I am having, it mentions Sahasra Panchasada Uttaram. That means 1500. So it is fixed. And it also, this Purana mentioned that Saptarishi Mandala revolute all 27 nakshatra in 2700 years. That is, each nakshatra 100 years. So this Purana mentioned during the rule of Andhra Sadhavahana of ruling Magadha Empire, it was in 24th nakshatra from Mahabharata. That is 2400 years. When it reaches again Maha nakshatra, that is 27 nakshatra completed, 28th nakshatra, 2700 to 2800, the Andhra Sadhavahana Empire was replaced by Gupta Empire. So that was given by all these Purana. It is a very important thing. And Bhavishya Purana and Jyotir Vidabharanam of Kalidasa mention from Yudhishthira to Vikramaditya, 3044 years. And these astronomy texts, Vadeswara Siddhanta, Sisyadi Viridhita Tandra, Mahabhaskariyam, Laghu Bhaskariyam, all these Siddhanta Shiromani mention from Kaliyuga beginning to Salivahana Saka beginning, there elapsed only 3179 years. They are mentioned. And our almanac of our nation. Almanacs are worked in all regions of Bharat and since time immemorial. I will not show all examples, so only one example I will show. This is an Kashmir or North Indian almanac for the date Kaliyuga year 4890. The whole almanac was given in Indian Antiquary, volume 20, pages this. I thank Professor A. Kelhan for his article in that. For the 1793-1794, that is 230 years before present. In that it mentioned, I thank for this copying of the photocopy, either Indian Antiquary or Kelkan. It mentioned, you see, Kaliyuga, Kaliyer, 4894, Vikramaditya Sambat, 1850, and Saka, Salivahana Saka, 1715. So it clearly mentioned that almanac. So from Kaliyuga to Vikrama Sambat, it is fixed 3044 years. And Kaliyuga to Salivahana, 3179 years. That is the inference we got from that almanac. Like that, all almanac mentioned. In Government of India, almanac also mentioned 3044, 3170. And there are inscriptions that were dated in Vikrama and Salivahana era. I will not show all examples, just to understand. It is Idar Museum inscription of Gujarat and Jaisalmer Sri Hanuman Temple inscription. It mentions Yudhishthira, Saka, Vikrama Sambat, and Salivahana. So, based on that, Yudhishthira to Vikrama, it is 3044 years. It is Yudhishthira means Jayabhidya Yudhishthira Saka. That is equal to Kaliyuga. Both are same. And Yudhishthira to Salivahana, 3179 years. More than 20,000 inscriptions are dated in Vikrama Sambat year. In the same way, Paparambakam, Bhavani, and Ayodhyapuri inscription mention Kali Day and Salivahana. So, Kaliyuga to Salivahana is 3179 years. More than 40,000 inscriptions are dated in Salivahana Saka. So, inscriptions, literature, almanac, all three things mentioned the same 3044 and 3179. Everything is corroborative, not even a single year altered. You have to understand. So, if you apply this data to the date derived as year of Mahabharata War 5561, what will be the result? We will see. So, this is the date derived by that scholar, two scholars, 5561. For them, after this 36 years, Kaliyuga began, they mentioned. So, 5525. So, Brihadrada dynasty 1000 years, Pradyodha dynasty 188 years, and Sishunaga dynasty beginning and end and Nanda begin 362. So it is 1500 years. And Andhra Sadhavahana, middle 2400, end is 2700 to 800. And Vikrama Samvat, it after this Kaliyuga beginning 3044, Jayabudya Yudhishthira Saka. And Salivahana Saga 3179. This I all explained. So if we apply this date, what will happen? Then this Sisunaga dynasty or Nanda dynasty begin, Sisunaga dynasty end at 4061. So because we got to minus 5561 minus 1500. So 4661 BCE. That is more than 6,000 years. After Nanda 100 years, Maurya dynasty, Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka came. So this, as per according to this period, Chandragupta Maurya will be 5,900 years before. Ashoka will be 5,750 years before. It is not acceptable. And also Andhra Sadhavahana, they ruled around 2761 BC, come to end. This Andhra Sadhavahana, they are contemporary to Western Satraps. That is Saka people. Saka people came from Parasika. After Cyrus II, who started his era in 550 BCE. After that, this Nakapana and Rudradama one came and occupied Gujarat and Malwa. There is a conflict, war between Andhra Sadhavahana and this Saka people. They came after the period of Cyrus. Cyrus started his era 550 BC. But if you apply this date, then Nakapana and Rudradama, they were 4,700 years before. It is not 2,500 or 400. So there is a large conflict is there. In the same way, Vikrama Samvat, it began in 2481 BC, 4,500 years. So if it is there, now the government of India and Almanac should say that the year of Vikrama Samvat is 4,504. But if you see Almanac and Government India record, it is 2080 only. In the same way, Salivahana Saga, it is 4,369th year. It is not correct. It is 1940. So there is a gross incoherence with this date. So it is not acceptable. Then coming to other inscriptions, that is inscriptions of Assam, Nidanpur, Dupi copper plate, Nalanda clay plate, and Bhattara inscription supported by literature and Aihole inscription. I will show one after another. Nidanpur copper plate inscription issued by King Bhaskara Varma. His other title is Kumara. He is the king of Kamarupa, that is Assam. He mentioned in that his genealogy, his Vamsa. He came in the genealogy of King Naraka, son of Vishnu and Bhuma Devi. We know Deepavali we are celebrating. So in that genealogy came Bhagadatta, who fought with Vijaya, that is Arjuna in Mahabharata War. So this started from Mahabharata War. And Puspadatta and Vajradatta. This Arjuna fought with Bhagadatta. This Bhagadatta is mentioned in Mahabharata text of Vedavyasa, Drona Parva 27th Adhyaya. So this literature at the Nidanpur inscription corroborates with each other. Same way they express. And this Nidanpur inscription mentioned that after 3,000 years, many kings ruled. The name is not given in that inscription. After that, King Pushyavarma and other kings ruled, and 13th king, or from the beginning Mahabharata, 16th king, name is the King Bhaskara Varma, who issued this Nidanpur copper plate inscription. And this is the inscription, I thank ASI. And this is Dupi inscription of Bhaskara Varma, I thank ASI. Nalanda clay plate of Bhaskara Varma. All these three things express the genealogy of Bhaskara Varma, the Vamsa of the Bhaskara Varma in the same way. There is not even a single difference. And a life of Huan Shuang, written by Simon Huailai, the disciple of Huan Shuang, and the CUK, written by Huan Shuang himself, mentioned that Harsha Siladitya, who is from Pushyabudhi dynasty, who ruled from Staneswara, he and this Bhaskara Varma are contemporary. Both are in the same period. And what is the period of Huan Shuang? As per Chinese record, as per his descendancy, as per the records of his grandfather, his father, it is he came to Bharat between 630 to 645 BC as per Chinese records, as per these polls. So we cannot argue. And Aighola inscription of issued during the period of Pulikesi II of Western Chalukya Badami. It mentions in date Kaliyuga 3785, Saka 556 after Mahabharata War. It clearly mentions the regnal period, proves regnal period of Pulikesi II as 610 to 642 Common Era. And it mentions that this Harsasiladitya of Sthaneswara, as mentioned in the other previously by Yuan Swang, he was defeated by Pulikesi II. This Pulikesi II, Harsasiladitya and the Yuan Swang all are contemporary. This same 6 copper plate also of Western Chalukya Badami mentioned in the same. And this is Karsa Charita, a text, ancient text literature written by Vanabhatta, who is the Prime Minister of Harsasiladitya. In that, in the chapter 7, he mentioned that Hamsavega is the messenger from Bhaskaravarma, who issued Nidanpur copper plate. He met Harsasiladitya, and this Hamsavega mentioned the genealogy of Bhaskaravarma in the same way. And he met in the early part of Harsasiladitya rule. Harsasiladitya period is 606 to 647. So Hamsavega would have met King Harsasiladitya around 610 Common Era. At that time, Bhaskaravarma was ruling Assam. So in the year 610 Common Era, there elapsed as per Nidanpur copper plate inscription 3000 years and 3 plus 13, that is regnal period of 16 years from Mahabharata War to 610 Common Era. So Mahabharata period to 610 Common Era, 3000 years and 16 kings ruling period. I have explained. So if you applied this data to the year 5561, what will happen? So Mahabharata to Bhaskaravarma period 610 Common Era, 3000 years plus 3 kings and 13 kings, 16 kings ruling period. So it is BCE, it is Common Era. So we have to add, it comes to this year. So from this, if you want to know 16 kings ruling period alone, we have to subtract 3000. Then it comes to 3171. This is for 16 kings. Then for average, one king is 198 years. Is it possible for a king to live more than 200 years to rule 198 years? Suppose if a king ruled 150 years, the other king would have ruled 250 years. Then only average 198 years come. So the life expectancy of maximum expectancy is still 120 years. So it is not acceptable. There is no logic in it. It is absolutely wrong. So there is no chronological coherence with other date for this 5561. Then coming to Bhattara inscription issued by King Govinda Kesavadeva, whose ruling period is 990 to 1040. During this period, he issued Bhattara inscription. Suppose in the middle period of his rule, he issued means, then he issued Bhattara inscription in 1015 Common Era. In that, we mentioned that the date of Bhattara inscription is 4151 years from the era of the first king of Pandava dynasty, that is Yudhishthira. From Yudhishthira to Bhattara, there are 4151 years. That is the inference we got from Bhattara. I thank ISA for using this photocopy. And what is the history of Gaur kingdom in which Govinda Kesava Deva belongs? It was started in 630 Common Era by Gurak, and 11th king is Govinda Kesava Deva. During the rule of 21st king, the Bengal Sultan Samsuddin ordered his nephew Sikandar Khan to invade Silhat, and on success, Sikandar was appointed as the first wazir of Silhat. Silhat is now in Bangladesh. So from Bhattara, if we say 1015 Common Era, and this end, the Sikandar Khan and Samsuddin Feroz period is 1330. So only 288. Then if we apply all these data again, the Bhattara inscription is 4151 years from Kaliyuga or J.B. Yudhishthira Saka, and 288 years elapsed from Bhattara to Samsuddin and Sikandar Khan rule. So what is 4151 plus 288? 4439 years. So we have to subtract this from 5525 to know the period of Samsuddin or Sikandar Khan. Then it comes to 1086 BCE. That is more than 3000 years. We know who is Samsuddin, who is Sikandar Khan, and when this from Saudi Arabia came to India, during which period, we all know. So we cannot put even before Christ, 3000 years, 1086 BC. Actually, it is 719 years. So it is absolutely wrong. So it is not acceptable. So there is no chronological coherence with this date, as per Bhattacharya. Then coming to other inscriptions in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu state, Aihole inscription I already explained. I totally explained. He is contemporary to Pallava king Mahendra Varma and Narasimha Varma, whose period we know, and he is contemporary to Harsasiladitya and also Yuan Swang. So these things I already explained. This is the Aihole inscription photocopy. I thank ASA for both photocopies. And other Chalukya inscriptions also mentioned, I have already explained. Rashtrakuta inscriptions also explained the original period of Pulikesi II at this, because they express in Saka era, both Chalukya and Rashtrakuta. So based on that, we know the Pulikesi II regnal period, ruling period. And Pallava king inscriptions also mentioned and prove that period of Pulikesi II is this 610 to 642. And Anamalai inscription, it is a Pandya inscription. Pandya kingdom is the southernmost kingdom of our nation. Madurai is the capital, southern part of Tamil Nadu. It was issued during the rule of King Jadila Parandaga Pandya. Date is Kaliyuga Samvat 3871. This is the photocopy of the inscription. This is mentioned Kaliyuga. And Gramam inscription is the inscription issued by the Senapati of Parandaga Chola Chakravarti, the Sola kingdom, Sola king, the great Sola kingdom, king. Sola king is the eastern part of Tamil Nadu. That is Delta of Kaveri. It is mentioned its date Kaliyuga 4044. Interestingly, it mentioned Kali days. Number of days elapsed since the beginning of Kaliyuga is 14,77,037. This is the inscription. You can see Kaliyuga in Tamil. And Sri Mushram inscription is issued during the period of the grandson of Parandaga Chola Chakravarti, that is Chundra Chola Chakravarti. Date is Kaliyuga 4060. I have used that inscription. This is the inscription. I take a photocopy and use it in my book front cover page. And Uyakondan Tirumalai inscription, Kaliyuga 4080. It is issued by another grandson of Parandaga Chola Chakravarti, that is Uttama Chola. And Tiruvadai Marudur inscription, it is 4083 of Kaliyuga. So the period of this later Chola kings, the earlier kings of later Chola kingdom, is further proved by the Rajendra Chola, Rajaraja Chola, Klotunga Chola 1 and Klotunga Chola 3 inscriptions at Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Pondicherry, where the date is expressed in Saka era. So it is. So if we apply this data, what will happen? Before that, I want to stress one important. Why there is chronological interconnectivity? This is Chalukya rulers, Pulikesi II, who issued Aihole inscription, and this is Pandya, Maravarman Rajasimha, father of Jadila Parandaga Pandya, who issued Anamalai inscription 3871. Between this 136 years, 6 kings, so 23 years average acceptable. He defeated Kirtivarman II at a war at Mumbai. And this Maravarman defeated the Pallava king Nandivarma II in a war. And this Rashtrakuta king Dandi Durga is a friend of Nandivarma. This Dandi Durga in turn defeated Kirtivarma II, and that was the end of Chalukya Badami rule and beginning of Rashtrakuta rule in the Deccan, in Karnataka and Maharashtra. And this is Chola. This Chola, the second king, later Chola Aditya I, defeated Nirupatunga and Aparajita, the kings of Pallava, at Tirupuram Bayam near Thanjavur. So that was the end of Pallava dynasty and beginning of the growth of Chola dynasty. And Parandaga Chola Chakravarti, whose inscription is Gramam at 4044, his son Aditya fought with Rashtrakuta at Takkola. And this Maravarman Rajasimha, he defeated Western Ganga king Sri Purusha. After that, Jadila Parandaga married. So you see, all 6 dynasties are interconnected, interrelated, interwoven. Their period and their historical events are inseparable. So I want to stress this chronological inseparability through this flowchart. And if we apply all this data to 5561, then Aihole inscription is at the period of 1790 BC. That is, Pulikesi ruled 3800 years before. That is Yuan Shuang from China. He traveled India 1790 BC. His genealogy, descendancy, great grandfather period, it proves 630, Common Era. So there is a difference of 630 plus 1800, 2400 years more than thing. So even this date is not only fit with Indian chronology, it also not fit with Chinese chronology. And Anaimalai inscription, the Pandya king ruled some 3700 years, and these Chola people, they ruled 3500 to 3450. That is not correct. We know when Brigadiswara temple was constructed 1000 years before. So Uttama Chola, after Uttama Chola, Rajaraja Chola, so he only constructed Thanjavur Brigadiswara temple. So if we apply this data, then from Uttama Chola to present day 2023, they are elapsed 3464 years. No, definitely Chola didn't rule 3400 years before. It is actually 1040 years. And Rajaraja Chola period is 1039 years, 37 years, not 3461. So it is totally not acceptable. It is not correct. So there is this date, they have no chronological preference with other dates. Then coming to inscriptions of Kadamba, Hoysala, and Kakatiya. Kadamba kings of Goa. The earlier name of Goa is Gopakapattanam. They ruled region around Goa, Karnataka, and Maharashtra adjacent area. They are contemporary and subordinate to Western Chalukya of Kalyani. They ruled after Rashtrakuta dynasty. So they issued many inscriptions in Kali date. So based on those inscriptions, the Kadamba king of Goa, they ruled Konkan region around Kali 4248 to 4357. In the same way, Hoysala kingdom, they issued many inscriptions that are dated in Kaliyuga. So they ruled Karnataka state, Mysore part of Karnataka state, southern part, and Kongu region and adjacent parts of Tamil Nadu state. They ruled before Vijayanagara Empire. The inscriptions, Kaliyuga inscriptions show that this their period is around Kali 4336 to 4442. And the inscription of Kakatiya kingdom. Kakatiya kingdom is existed ruling around Warangal of Telangana and northern part of Andhra Pradesh. It is before Vijayanagara Empire. So their inscription, Rudradeva 2 inscription, Kali 4420. There are more than 20 inscriptions of Pratap Rudradeva are there, expressed in Salivahana Saka. So it shows that this Kakatiya kingdom ruled around Kali 4420. If we apply the data of 3 dynasties to the date 5561, what will happen? So then Kadamba dynasty ruled 4300 average. Then their period is 5525 minus 4300. It is 1225 BCE. That means 3250 years before Hoysala. It is not correct. Kadamba. And Hoysala period is 1125 BC. You see, last king of Hoysala, Veeraballala III, was defeated by Madurai Sultan. After that, some period of Sultan rule in Tamil Nadu. After that, Vijayanagara recaptured Tamil Nadu and eliminated the Sultan rule. That is the history. So, they are contemporary to Mysore Sultan. We cannot say Mysore Sultan existed in India, in Tamil Nadu, some 3125 years. Definitely not. This Madurai Sultan, who we know. In the same way, Kakatiya, this dynasty ended because of the invasion of Alauddin Khilji's Senapati, Malik Kafur, and Kyajuddin Tughlaq's Senapati, Jauna Khan. And we cannot put them in 1105, 3100 years. This Alauddin Khilji and Tughlaq period, we know who they are, at what period they roam. So we cannot, it is totally wrong. So it is also not acceptable. So there is no chronological preference. And coming to Vijayanagara, Thanjavur, Maratha, and Mysore. Vijayanagara Empire, we know there are more than 60 inscriptions that were dated in Kaliyuga and more than 60 inscriptions that were dated in Saka and Salivahana Era. So their period we absolutely know. And after Sadasiva rule, it was divided into 3 kingdoms: Penukonda, Srirangapattanam, and Sandrakiri. So their regnal period, Vijayanagara Empire, and later 3 division is 4443 to 4839 Kaliyuga. And Thanjavur Maratha, it was started by the Maratha king, Bhonsle dynasty, who is a half brother of Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji. We know the period of Chhatrapati Shivaji is contemporary with Aurangzeb. So they issued many inscriptions in Kaliyuga. So these things show that their period, Thanjavur Maratha kingdom, is Kali 4784 to 4993. And Mysore kingdom. Mysore kingdom came to in existence after the completion of Vijayanagara Empire. After that only Mysore, they ruled Mysore and around Karnataka and some parts of Kongu region of Tamil Nadu, Bangalore and all. They issued many inscriptions. So their period is from Kali 4780, and the Mysore kingdom was a princely state even during British period. So up to 1947 it exists. So if we apply this data, then Vijayanagara Empire, average we can take 4550. Then from 5525, if we minus 4550, then Vijayanagara Empire ruling period was 975 BCE. That is more than 3000 years. We know Vijayanagara period, they are contemporary to Alauddin Khilji and Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. So it is not acceptable. What is this period we know? 1300, 400. Just 600, 700 years before. Not 3000. Alauddin Khilji and Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. So in the same way, Mysore kingdom, 625 BC. They are contemporary to British. So it is not acceptable. We cannot put British 2600 years. And Thanjavur Maratha, they are also contemporary to British. We cannot put them 2600 years before British. So it is also not acceptable. So in this way also for these three kingdoms data also not fit with 5561 BC. Then coming to last part, I want to explain up to independence. That's why I included this. There is an interesting inscriptions also there. The Mughal, Sultan, British and Dutch French rule inscriptions. First, Aurangzeb ruling period. There is an inscription in Tamil Nadu that dated Kaliyuga 4800 and Saka 1621, and it mentions the Mughal king Aurangzeb name as the ruler of Delhi. So during Aurangzeb rule, the Kaliyuga date is 4800. And Sultan of Kashmir, Zain-ul-Abidin. During his ruling period, there is an inscription at Bhubaneswari in Srinagar district, Jammu Kashmir. Its date is Kaliyuga 4530. So in that period, Zain-ul-Abidin ruled Kashmir. And there is an inscription during the rule of Bijapur Sultan, Ibrahim Shah, Adil Shahi dynasty. The date is Kaliyuga 4770. So at that period, Ibrahim Shah ruled Bijapur. And this is the interesting inscription. There is an inscription from Telangana in Nalgonda district in Panagalla. There are three eras mentioned: Kaliyuga, Saka era, and astonishingly Hijri era also. So Kali 4989, Hijri 1306. So Hijri we know, the Mecca to Medina, that pilgrimage, and that Hijra. When it happened, we know. During whose period it happens. So if you apply this data to the Kaliyuga Mahabharata date as derived by some scholars as 5561, what will happen? Then 5561 BCE Mahabharata War. Then from that 25 years, 36 years gone, Kaliyuga beginning 5525. So Kaliyuga date is 4989. You have to subtract, then this date of this inscription is 536 BCE. At that time, Hijri year is 1306. So we have to add 536 with 1306. So Hijri or Hijra began in 1842 BCE. 3900, nearly 3900 years. When Hijra started, when this Mecca to Medina pilgrimage happened, we all know in Saudi Arabia. So this chronology, this date is not chronologically fit with even Saudi Arabian chronology, not only Bharat or Chinese. So it is not fit with the Saudi Arabian chronology also. And this is the inscription during British rule. There is an inscription in Chennai, Nungambakam, and it is on the pillar of the astronomical observatory, that is Madras Observatory. It was constructed under the supervision of one astronomer, Michael Topping, in the year 1792 Common Era. It mentions Kaliyuga date 4893. So at that period, British ruled Chennai. That was the inference from this inscription. And there is an inscription during Dutch rule. Tarangambadi and other area, Nagapattan area, they ruled. It was issued during the rule of Dutch governor Bilisinghi. Date is 4875. So at that period, Dutch was ruling Tarangambadi adjacent area. It is at Sri Naganatha Swami Temple, Nagapattanam, in Tamil Nadu state, eastern part of Tamil Nadu, Mysore. And inscription during French rule also there. It is Sri Kameswara Swami Temple, Villunur, Pondicherry. Pondicherry, we know they ruled by French. It was issued during the period of French governor Leon's Lugier. Kaliyuga is 4982. At that time, Pondicherry was ruled by French. So if we apply all these 7 data to the date 5561, what will happen? We have to analyze. So Kashmir Sultan 4530. Then it means Kashmir Sultan ruled 995 BCE. If it is this date, we have to accept that Kashmir Sultan ruled Kashmir 3000 years before. When Hijra happened, when that religion came to India, that and all we know. Then how can Kashmir Sultan ruled before Christ, 3000 years? And Bijapur Sultan ruled 808 BC, 2800. And Aurangzeb ruled Delhi 2725 years. He is contemporary to Chhatrapati Shivaji. We know this period. After that, the Mughal Empire collapsed. And Dutch ruled 650 BCE, British ruled 632 BCE, French ruled 543 BCE. So all these Europeans ruled respective parts in India, in Bharat, some 2600 years to 2500 years before. See, 1000 years before, we don't know the history of Dutch, British, France. Even that name of the country did not exist. Only Roman ruled all this year from 2000. 2000 years before, we don't know the history of even any part of the Europe. Then how can we accept that Dutch, British, France ruled parts of India and they came to India and ruled some parts of India some 2500 years? It is not acceptable. So based on Kashmir Sultan, Bahmani Sultan, Mughal and these Europeans, it is not acceptable. So it is not coherent with even European chronology. We have seen it is not coherent with Saudi Arabian, Chinese, and now European chronology. So it is not acceptable. So it is not coherent. So we cannot accept this date. So on concluding this, I want to say that in the earlier parts, Andhra Sadhavahana, they are contemporary to Cyrus era, that is Parasiga ruler. So even that Parasiga, Iran chronology also, it is not coherent. So earlier part also, it is not coherent and correct. This is the latter part. I will show in the next slide. So in the latter part, in this I have shown 6 dynasties: Brihadrada, Pradyodha, Sisinaga, Nanda, and Vikrama, Salivahana, Andhra Sadhavahana. I show 6 data I will show. Here I will show 17 data from Hijri, 18 data. This is Chalukya, this is Assam, Kamarupa, Pandya, this is Chola, this is Gaur of Bangladesh, this is Kadamba of Goa, Hoysala of Mysore, Kakatiya of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Vijayanagara, and Kashmir Sultan, Bahmani Sultan, Maratha, Mughal, Thanjavur Maratha, Mysore, British, Dutch, France. All these data, 18 data, previously 6 data. So 24 dynasties data, it is not coherent. So totally it is not acceptable. That is the inference we got from all these data regarding the date 5561. There is no chronological coherence and consistency with the later historical. Then coming to the next date, 2500, we will just 2 slides only. So if we apply 2500 BC, any date after that, some people are arguing it is not like that. It is after 2500 BC only. So for this 36 years is the gap between Mahabharata, minimum 36 years. So we can say Kaliyuga beginning 2464. If we apply this date to Vikrama Samvat and Salivahana, from Kaliyuga beginning 3044 is the Vikrama Samvat, 3179 is the Salivahana Saga. If we apply then Vikramaditya ruled Ujjain 580 common era, just 1500 years. And Salivahana ruled 715, 2300 years. Then if it is there, then our almanac and Government of India records should mention the present Vikrama Samvat year is 1443, but they mention 2000. So it is not correct. And Salivahana Saka, it should be 1308, but actually it is 1945. Any almanac or government of India record you can verify. So it is not coherent with the earlier part of the historical events also. This date, any date, even 2500 is not coherent, means any date after that is definitely not coherent. And later part, how it is it coherent? This 2500 or any later date. These are all 17 dynasties I am saying. Then it means this Chalukya kingdom ruled 1271 era. He is contemporary to Pallava. Pallava are anterior to Chola. We have seen Chola Brigadiswara temple constructed 1000 years. Before that is the Pallava. So we cannot put Chalukya at 1271, just 700 years. It is not correct. In the same way, Kadamba, 1836, 300 years. Definitely not. And the most important thing is Vijayanagara. At present, 2086 is the ruling period of Vijayanagara. That is, it is a middle period if you take, just we are under the rule of Vijayanagara. At present, Vijayanagara Empire only ruling southern part of Tamil Nadu, whole southern part of Bharat. And this Bahmani Sultan, Kashmir Sultan, Aurangzeb, and Mysore, Thanjavur, Maratha, and Dutch, British, France, they will come and rule India in the future only. See, this Mughal, Aurangzeb will rule after 300 years. And Dutch will rule after 400 years. British will rule 400 years. And French will rule 1500 years. They will come in the future. We cannot read them in the history books. That is the thing we will apply if we date 2500 or any later date. So, at present, 2023 will be here. So, Vijayanagara Empire started ruling Deccan, and Bahmani Sultan ruling northern part of Deccan, and Alauddin Khilji and Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq is ruling northern India, Delhi. And it is not Narendra Modi ji ruling. This is the inference we got if we take this. So, it is totally incoherent.